Wow, you haven't traveled the world? You didn't buy a house this year? You didn't run a marathon at minimum? Cool. Wow, you're a loser. Well, guess what? Neither did I. But you know what I did do? I stopped caring if people thought that meant I wasn't progressing. And honestly, if unseen growth could count as gym gains, I'd be absolutely shredded by now. Too bad you can't post emotional resilience to Instagram grid because then maybe more people would do it. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Taking Up Space with Jordan. I'm your host, Jordan, and every Wednesday I like to release an exclusive episode that ties back to the podcast themes. And coming up, by the time this episode comes out, it will be a week from my birthday. And this episode was inspired because I feel like their birthdays are a reminder that maybe another year has passed and they're not seeing this big progress. But here's the truth. Just because you didn't buy a house, run a marathon, or post a picture perfect trip, that doesn't mean you haven't grown. If you were to scroll my camera feed right now, you would see it's mostly my dogs, my cat, them sitting on the couch, me sitting on the couch, me going on a cool hike. End of it. You might even see a cool new coffee cup in there. But from the outside, that doesn't scream achievement. But to me, it's proof that I've built a life of peace, of boundaries, and joy. That's growth that you can't always capture on Instagram. And today I want to prove to you that you've grown too. Even if it's not your birthday month, even if you feel like nothing has changed, these next 6 steps that I'm going to show you are going to be the invisible ways that you have evolved. And by the end, you'll be able to look at your own life and say, I can see the proof of my own growth. So keep on listening and keep on watching. So welcome to how to track your unseen growth. Step 1, emotional check-ins. We're going to kick things off by checking in with yourself emotionally. Your emotions are your brain and body teaming up to send you information. If you want to see growth, you have to start paying attention. Build the habit of writing down what you feel at the beginning or end of each day. What you want to do is just be as consistent as possible. Not perfect, but consistent. I want you to ask yourself things like, were you anxious in the morning? Did you feel excited midday? Were you drained or fearful by night? This isn't about analyzing every mood swing. It's about collecting data. Then at the end of the month, you're going to reflect. What situations used to overwhelm me that feel easier now? How am I responding differently to stress, to conflict, or setbacks? That's where you'll see the growth. Maybe you have a coworker who constantly piles things on your plate. At first, it made you spiral, but by the end of the month, you're holding boundaries without even realizing it. That's not you getting used to it. That's you learning to manage your emotions and protect your energy, and that is growth. Step 2 is patterns in behavior. Next, I want you to zoom out and look at your actions and habits because behavior always follows emotions. This is where unseen growth really starts to leave a trail. If we go back to that coworker metaphor or coworker example, what boundaries have you set intentionally or not to protect your peace? That's not just surviving a workday. That's rewriting the way you allow people to treat you. That's identity level change. Now think about your everyday habits. Maybe you used to come home and doom scroll while eating whatever was easiest, but now you only do that once a week. Most nights you're romanticizing your evenings, making space for creativity, rest, or joy. That's proof that you believe your time and energy are worth protecting. And even noticing habits that you don't love is growth because self-awareness always comes before self-improvement. For me, I've learned not to start a new book on Sunday nights because if it's good, I'm going to stay up all night and Monday me will be a mess. But instead of beating myself up, I adjust. That choice isn't just about sleep. It's about respecting the version of me that I want to be the next day. Tracking behavior patterns is about more than habits. It's about catching yourself in the act of becoming someone new. Step 3, energy audits. Now let's talk a little bit about our energy. This one, I think gets overlooked because we often write off our low energy days just as bad days. But when you track your energy daily and even monthly, you start to see patterns. Ask yourself, am I stacking too many social events on my calendar? Do certain interactions leave me drained every time? What consistently gives you my energy back? These aren't random, they're data points. When you understand your energy, you can make better decisions about what you actually want in your life. It's almost like learning to look around corners and anticipate what you'll need before you burn out. Step 4, values alignment. And here's the heart of this exercise, your values. As you check in on your emotions and behaviors and energy, you're going to start to see themes. Ask yourself, are my daily choices aligned with what I say matters most to me? Maybe you feel deep connection but spend all your free time at shallow networking events. Maybe you value creativity but haven't made space for it in months. For me, my core values are joy, creativity, love, and power. When I make choices that align with those, I feel like the truest version of myself. And when my choices drift away from them, I feel unsettled, upset, and distracted. Your values are your compass. When your actions align with your core self, you're not just living, you're thriving. That alignment is one of the clearest signs of unseen growth. Step 5, compassion tracker. The fifth piece is self compassion. How are you talking to yourself? When you look back at hard moments this year, can you reframe the way you spoke to yourself? Instead of, I'm terrible, what if it had been, this is hard, what do I need right now? Self compassion shifts your entire mindset. It turns your self criticism into self support. And when you start showing yourself the same kindness that you would a friend, you stop being your harshest enemy and start being your biggest ally. That's growth you'll feel in every single day in every single area of your life. Our final step is micro milestones. I need you to start tracking your micro milestones, the small wins you're proud of but rarely celebrate. For me, I finally get my laundry done on time, towels folded, clothes hung up. It seems small, but it means I'm wearing clothes that make me feel confident. My home is more peaceful and clean, and my mornings are that much easier. That tiny shift ripples out everywhere. Your micro milestones might be consistently meal prepping, going to therapy each week, keeping promises to yourself. These are the invisible wins that add up to life you feel proud of. This year, I turned 31 and I feel more like myself than I ever have. Not because I checked off big, shiny goals, but because I feel aligned. My energy, my values, my habits, they're mine and they're not borrowed from someone else's timeline or Instagram highlight reel. And that's the real gift of unseen growth. You don't always have proof to post, but you know. You know you're building a life that feels like yours, a life filled with joy, love, and power. And I want you to find the proof for yourself. This week, take 5 minutes to track one of these 6 areas: your emotions, your behaviors, energy, values, self compassion, or micro milestones. Notice the progress that doesn't show up on Instagram, but changes everything about how you move through life. If this episode resonated, don't forget to share it with a friend who might be feeling a little behind. And if you're ready to keep uncovering the invisible ways that you can grow, go ahead and hit subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. And because it's my birthday week, I'd love to hear from you. What's one unseen way you've grown this year? Send me a DM or tag me on Instagram. I'll be sharing some of your reflections. Let's celebrate together because every step, big or small, is worth honoring. Kisses!